what I'm actually here to do is work out who I am when I'm not being useful to somebody, because I generally don't know. I've been so many things to so many people that I couldn't tell you what's left underneath. All right, so as I've said before, I'm not going to really hold back on my journey with my mental health and whatnot, and PTSD, and finding myself, finding my purpose. That's what this whole channel is about. So yeah, here we go. So for about the last year, I've been waking up exhausted, not sore tired, not big week tired, just empty. I'd sit in the shed with a job in front of me, a job that I actually wanted to do, and just stare at it. Couldn't start, couldn't work out why. So I just pick up the phone and sort out someone else's problem instead, because that I could always do. Short fuse, no patience with the people who deserved it the most, working 14-hour days and finishing with nothing to show for it. And every time someone asked, I said, what we all say, yeah, flat out, all good. I thought that was just what our 40s look like when you've got a lot on. I didn't know that it had a name, which is burnout. Why do we do it? Well, when we're in the uniform, being the one who copes is the job. You don't fall over, you don't tap out. The bloke next to you is relying on you. So you go again, and you go again, and you keep going long past the point where a normal person would have said something. And that's not a flaw in there, it's the whole thing. It's what keeps people alive. Digging deep and just being there for people. That's what keeps you alive. But nobody really sits you down on the way out and tells you it stops working. Nobody says, hey mate, the thing that made you good at that is going to quietly ruin you in civvy land, because there's no operation, there's no rotation, there's no end date. It's just every day, forever, and you're still running the same setting. 17 years I've been out, and 17 years I'm still running on it. Here's the part I've been avoiding saying out loud, and that is being there for everyone isn't always generous. Sometimes it's a hiding place, and if I'm busy carrying someone else's load, I never have to sit still long enough to look at my own. I get to feel useful instead of feeling anything. And there's another whole conversation in that, in how we feel that unless we're doing something, unless we're contributing, unless we're, then we're not worth anything. So, but nobody asked me to do that. I chose to do it. I put my hand up every time, and I called it service. And it was right up until the point where there was nothing left in the tank. And even when there's nothing left in the tank, I was still handing it out. You can't pour from an empty cup, is the whole saying, and yeah, that's been told to me many a times, but it's your default setting. Everyone's heard that. I've been pouring from the empty cup for years and telling myself that it was just strength, that I'm just helping. So yeah, I'm now came into hospital today. So what's the next 2 months? Well, that's why I'm here. 2 months ketamine treatment again under the doctors. And I'm not going to sit here and sell it to you. It's what's right for me. I'm not saying that's right for everybody. There's a big long process you've got to do before you even get looked at for ketamine treatment. It's not the answer for everyone, and it's a conversation that you and your doctor have, not just me. What I'm actually here to do is work out who I am when I'm not being useful to somebody, because I generally don't know. I've been so many things to so many people that I couldn't tell you what's left underneath, and for a first time in a long time, I'm the mission. So this is my room for the next 2 months. I'll keep you updated. So this week's just admin and obviously getting back on. I've done rounds of ketamine before, and to me it worked. Unfortunately, last time I did it, I just I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't convinced. So I'll keep you updated.